Hello survivors and welcome to another Walking Dead Road to Survival video, and in this video we're going to be looking at the League 7 season store and just checking out the characters. Obviously we know what characters are in here, but I'm going to go through which ones I think are worth picking up. First off, I want to ask, which characters are you going to be picking up out of these 6? Obviously the 3 ascendables and the 3 5-star characters, which are generally speaking there for collections or just fun characters that people have wanted for a while. But when it comes to the ascendables, we've got Stephanie, Camilla and Rick, and they all kind of do different things. And we've got the unique ascendable in Stephanie, a leader for melee characters in Camilla, and a lacerator in Rick. And in terms of which character I think is the best one to pick up, generally speaking, it will probably be Camilla, just based on the fact that she has got a leader skill, which is the first time this has been really widely available. In all melee teammates get 40% attack and a huge bonus to AP when attacking. I've done a video on Camilla already, and you can just check that out if you want to. And basically, Camilla is just about the leader skill. She's got nice bonuses elsewhere with her rush and her active skill, but she unlocks so many characters with that leader skill that I definitely say she should be the tier 1 pick. Unless you do not have melee characters already for offensive teams, because she is an offensive leader. That is basically her primary use. And she can be used for 8% teams because she can hold any weapon. She does not have an attached weapon. And she can be used with teams that would have strong characters in it. She can be used on certain mixed teams as a secondary character because she does have a 1-turn focus, but generally speaking that 1-turn focus isn't going to be enough unless you can use it on that rush turn. You know, 3rd turn when all the rushes go off, you can rush with Camilla first and then you can rush behind shields. In terms of that focus being useful for blocking things like confuse and blocking things like taunt, it is not able to do that because it only lasts for 1 turn. It will You do it on your turn and it wears off after your turn ends, so that the enemy's turn, the confused and taunts will actually happen. If your characters are already confused and taunted, it doesn't cleanse confused and taunt, so it only is useful for bypassing shields. That's it. Now I've also done a video on Rick, again if you want to check that out, but again the main thing about Rick is his specialist skill. It is great that, you know, the specialists and leaders coming into the, you know, returning ascendables are good, because that is the primary thing. We have had so many terrible leader skills in the past within the widely available characters. I'm talking about like huge on defense AP and like 40% HP, which nobody really wants, let's be honest. But Lacerator is really good. Obviously he's good at taking down multiple teams, and the fact that Rick is green, he can be synergized with a character like Eric on an attack team, with Eric being the leader and you just building a very tanky bleed team, which is pretty nice. And there are a lot of tough characters that have controlling actives, controlling rushes, and that's generally how you want to build a bleed team, is control and bleed. You know, obviously bleed has to be in there, but control, bleed and lacerator, maybe a bit of burn. You could put the Maggie in there if you've got the Maggie fire starter. You could have like a mix and match. So there's definitely good possibilities with Rick, and he can take down some very tanky high level S-class teams just based on the fact that he can bypass defense. You know, bleed completely nullifies defense, does not negate incoming damage when you're taking bleed damage and burn damage, which is great. Now when it comes to Stephanie, I'm not 100% certain. She's going to be a character that you're going to have to really test out. I think she's going to be more useful on defense teams, and she could be pretty decent on higher level defense teams, mainly because the specialist skill makes her have a bit more longevity as a defensive character. You cannot whittle her down. You can't use basic attacks on her to take her out. You will have to waste the rush on her effectively when you could have more priority targets on a defense team that you'd want to take down, which is great. You can tank her out massively because she will not need any attack, even though she has an offensive rush in terms of a percentage damage rush. You generally would just probably want to tank her out quite heavily, and out of these 3 characters, she's the only one I don't have. So she is going to be the instant one that I'm going to purchase, just based on the fact that I do not have her. So I'll level her up, and I'll basically give you an idea on my live streams and stuff of how good I think this character is, how useful I think this character is. The other 2 characters, Camilla and Rick, I already have, so obviously I don't need another one. 2 Ricks actually still could be useful, but I do have Shiva, and Shiva Rick works well together. But that's it for the ascendables. Now we move on to the 5 stars, which isn't as important. We won't go through them too heavily, but Jesus is part of a collection. So is Sophia, I believe. And Monaco is just a character that a lot of people have wanted for a long time, including myself. But I think all of these characters are available elsewhere. And this is generally the same thing that I say every season is, there's no rush in getting these characters. These characters are not going to change too much. Even though there is 5-star arenas now, these characters are not going to change too much with your teams. So you're better off being a bit patient, wait until the last week or so, see if you do have enough season tokens. Maybe you can pull them in the meantime. You know, I think I've read that Monica is actually in Ascension. I know that Sophia is in Ascension. Jesus here is actually in other parts of the game. He's in a wheel. He's been added to wheels. And the easiest way you can see where characters are is you just go to the museum collection that they're in. You click the eye and you do the where to find it. It'll tell me leagues. And it says elite character tokens, prestige tokens. And obviously prestige is 100% 5-star pull now and potential, 5-star ascendable. So you could get him in the elite character tokens or prestige recruits, and that's 6,000 season tokens just wasted. Unless you've just like literally sitting on hundreds of thousands, you may as well hold off. There's no rush. Like I said, these characters are not going to make that big a difference. That being said, I am going to pick up Monica before the end of this season. Hopefully I can pull her elsewhere, but I will pick her up because she is one of the characters I've wanted for a long time. She is going to be pretty nice in 5-star arenas. So that's my idea of what to buy in the season store. It will probably come down to your roster, but Camilla is the #1 pick, then Rick for sure. And I'd say that's pretty close. Rick really does, hit those S-class teams pretty decently if you build a decent enough team. And a lot of you guys have already got Eric. And you wouldn't have to mod him any differently as a leader, Eric. You could just keep him very defensive and use him on your defense team still. I'll give Stephanie a little whirl and see how good she is, but you might want to save your tokens for next season because she's not really doing anything special. She's just another defensive character on a defense team. She's another Douglas, Joshua, Eric. She's one of these characters. She's not a specialist that's going to make a difference. She's not, a decap. She's not a lacerator. She's not an offensive character. And we get no alert characters again this season. I kind of wish there was an alert character. I don't think we've had that many alert characters in 7 seasons. I think it's got to be like 2 max, maybe 3. I think we had Sandy and Ezekiel. I can't really remember another one. There probably is one more, but that might be 2 or maybe 3 in 7 seasons. And it is definitely the trait that we just don't have that much access to. It's Donnie and literally like nothing else. Well, I guess Romanov, but yeah, let's not talk about him too much. But that's the end of my video. Like I said before, which characters are you looking to pick up this season? Thank you very much for tuning in, and as always, keep on surviving, guys. Keep on surviving.